I'm going to miss mine and Josh's conversations. And to King Cobra's family, I do say this. I'm sorry for your loss. If anything, he was one of the nicest human beings on 2 feet that I've ever met. But behind the scenes, me and him and Ethan used to hang out all the time.
Stay hot, Cyraxx, shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. Predator vibes, got a band from the book, Josh Block got the hell. Bottle in his clutch, captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Navy Waddling, can't step to the throne. Worry top the mic, let them reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. The Goblin of Akron, Ohio has had a busy couple of days between new stings, Russian catfishes, and fallouts with old friends. He's been having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week. But that didn't stop him from hopping on stream to just shred that guitar a little bit, really show us exactly how he literally doesn't know how any components of it work, or of course, more importantly, from having a meltdown and trying to sympathy bait. So we'll start with the guitar just as a little bit of a palate cleanser, and then we'll go over to him, trying to muster up some goblin tears, hoping that someone will feel bad enough to save him from the consequences of his own actions.
What is good, everybody?
Look at the 1,000-yard stare directly into the camera as he defiles this guitar like that. He looks like one of the psychics and scanners trying to pop your head. That's about enough of that. Let's get into the actual brunt of this video.
What's up, guys? So, I'm here to talk about something that does need to be talked about, that I'm genuinely getting tired of.
He starts literally every single stream with, "I need to speak on something that needs to be talked about." I remember when I was in my first year of college, they had a English class that was specifically about writing essays, and they were like, one thing you really don't want to do is start every single paragraph off the same way. Like, you don't want every single paragraph just to be like, when thinking about this subject, yada yada yada. You're supposed to change it up so it flows better. And that's what I think of every time that I open up a new Cyraxx video, because they all start exactly the same way. 3 minutes of dead air while he fumbles around, looking at his feet. Finally, his cross-eyed gaze slowly looks up at the camera and he goes, "I need to speak on something that needs to be spoken on." And then, of course, also it turns out to be something that literally didn't need acknowledgement at all by anyone but him.
Which is all the hatred going on the internet. I'm genuinely tired of seeing it, and personally, I'm tired of dealing with it. You know, a lot of people have this misconception about me that I'm this bad, evil, but I'm not.
The scratching. I also just want to say, I love that he always attributes, just like Tofia, any problem in his life is systemic. It can't possibly be because of his own actions. He doesn't have a problem with people hating on him because of his actions. He has a problem because there's just an overall issue of rampant hate on the internet. Now, yeah, people on the internet can be a little bit touchy, and sometimes you post something and maybe you get a little bit more negativity in response to it than is warranted. Everybody's a little bit braver behind a keyboard and an anonymous account. But at the same time, if you don't post anything insanely controversial, you probably won't experience that very much. But if you're, I don't know, a notorious PDF file, it doesn't matter if you're on the internet, it doesn't matter if you're at the grocery store, it doesn't matter if you're at work. If people know that about you, you're going to get hate wherever you go, because people hate PDF files, Chance. It's not an internet problem, it's a you problem.
I'm going to say this flat out. I'm tired of being hated on when y'all trolls of the web come out and you trick me, and for what? It's stupid.
I've said it once and I'll say it 100 more times. I'll say it as many more times as he gets caught. You cannot trick someone into being a PDF file. They either are or they are not that thing. It's like you can't trick somebody into buying a drug. If you say, "Hey, I have this drug, would you like to buy it?" And then the person says, "Yes, I would like to buy it," and they purchase it from you, even if that turns out to be some type of a sting, they didn't trick you into buying it. You bought it because you wanted it, because if you weren't into using that drug, then when somebody offered to sell it to you, you would have said no. The only reason that you would buy it is because you wanted it, because you want to use that thing. And it's the same thing with these sting attempts. If somebody tells you that they're a certain age, and you continue to engage with them anyway believing that, and then afterwards they turn out to be an adult, they didn't trick you into talking to someone that age. Because a normal person who didn't want to talk to somebody that young would have just ended the conversation and blocked the account right there. And yes, I've used the drug sting example before, and I always get this comment dropped below, so I'm just going to say it now. I understand that if law enforcement did that, it would be entrapment. I'm not saying that it would hold up in court. I'm just saying you wouldn't buy the drug in the first place if you didn't want that drug. You know what I mean? It's not a perfect metaphor, but I think it gets the point across.
You know, it's funny in how every time y'all try to trick me, I fire back with an answer that tops what you guys do. Yeah, I'm not out here trying to hate on anybody. If anything, I want to have as many friends as possible. But with y'all trolls, y'all make it hard for me to do that. And I hate that. Yeah, I'm just a regular trying to make an honest living. Doing what I love, doing what I enjoy, not bothering nobody.
I wonder if he actually knows what the words that he says mean anymore, because he's been repeating them all for so long that I actually think at this point they may have detached from their actual definitions. When he says, "I'm just a normal guy," at this point if you asked him to draw a picture of that, I think he would probably draw a poorly sketched photo of himself. I don't even think he could just draw, I don't know, a random guy in a suit or something like that and be like, oh, this guy looks pretty normal. He would just draw him because he's been repeating normal guy for so long and he's attached that phrase to himself. I don't even think he knows what it means anymore. And then same thing with make an honest living. I think if you sat him down and you were like, hey, Chance, can you explain to me what an honest living is? He wouldn't be like, oh, carpentry or truck driving or being a nurse. No, he would jump past all that and he would just be like, being a record label owner on the internet, being the Drift King, being a Twitch streamer. He would only name the things that he thinks of that he's tried in his own mind to do as a quote honest living. It honestly kind of cracks me up. I think he's 1984'd his own version of the English language in his head, where he can just repeat certain phrases that mean something different to him than they do to the rest of us.
And that Facebook group that y'all got up, the Chance Book is the Predator group, that's literally nothing more than a cesspool of garbage and hate-filled people.
No, there's a cesspool of garbage and hate-filled people on Lloyd Street, Chance. It's also full of bedbugs and mold, and it's housed many a PDF file over the years.
It ain't right, it ain't fair, it's wrong, and it needs to stop. It's funny, that shit, because of that shit that went down the other night with my ex and her friend, everybody's been called again when my shit adds up and hers don't.
I just want to say, the scratching is getting really bad again. It had kind of toned down for a little while, and in the last couple of videos, he has been absolutely ripping his head and face apart. You can actually see in his fingertips right there that he's holding one of the scabs or the bugs that he just pulled off of his face. I don't know which one it is, but I can't believe I accidentally freeze framed it exactly on where you can see before he flicks it or drops it. He literally just pulled it off of his face and is still holding it. The speed at which that turned my stomach is breakneck.
And the reason I say that is because of this. When I started talking to my ex's friend Moon, she didn't verify her age right away. I had to find out from my ex that she's 17. And so what did I do? I went in and I blocked her. But what's funny to me is the minute that gets found out, all of a sudden messages get deleted and edited. Kind of weird. But yet if you look at my messages, nothing got deleted. Everything added up. Everything was properly, in order. I'll admit, y'all almost got me, but you failed as usual.
It's amazing what he considers to be a failure. After the Marty fight, when he went on panel with Marty that night with his nose bleeding and his little kid ninja costume, he told Marty that he actually didn't win the fight because he didn't kill Cyrax. He was like, you didn't win the fight because I'm still standing, I'm still alive. Which is a ridiculous way to measure who won that fight. I mean, we've all heard the audio. And this thing right here, where the screenshots were leaked, he acknowledged them himself. He's acknowledged multiple times that he didn't know her age, but then also he said that he did know her age and it was okay because it's just over the 1 yard line of the age of consent. Both of which are disgusting excuses that don't make him look any better. Even after him personally admitting all of that on stream, he's saying, you almost got me. No, they didn't almost get you, Chance. They did get you. If you think this is almost getting you, I don't want to know what you would consider actually being caught to be.
But I will say this. I'm tired of the hatred being spewed about me. I'm tired of the bullshit.
I'm tired of the drool being spewed into your beard. We both want certain things to stop, and we both know they won't.
I'm tired of the rage, the hate, the rumors, the lies. I'm sick of it. I've not been bothering nobody for over a month now. You wanna know what I've been doing? Working on my music, playing video games with my best friends, working on artwork, watching TV, watching movies, and being normal. That's all I've been doing.
I make this point all the time, but I'm never going to stop saying it. If you have to say I'm being normal, you're not being normal. That's extra suspicious. If I ever got a call from like one of my cousins or something, and they were asking me how I am, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing well. How about you? And they go, oh, I'm just being normal. I'd be like, what the f did you get yourself into? You need to elaborate. Like, there's no way I would think that wasn't suspicious as hell. I'm just being normal.
I ain't been bothering nobody or none of that. But yet, the minute that I talk to this chick, which stands for urethra, which I did not know that, which I am not.
He finally admitted it. See, my money was on Yura being like a Moe's Tavern joke where, because she was Russian, her last name was going to be like Pedofilovich or something like that, or Pradavovich or something, but no, urethra is equally funny. I didn't even see that one coming. That's awesome. And I love how he just casually drops it in there. He's just like, oh yeah, it was short for urethra. I'm an idiot. I didn't catch that, but whatever.
I'm aware of. Thank you to the homie that linked me up to that and let me know that. But what I find so funny is that y'all are so hell-bent on making me look like for what? For a little bit of clout? For a recognition? What's it for?
Look, I can't prescribe the motivations of every single person who does this to you. That's a lot of people, so I can't like take a wild guess on why it is that every single creator or every single troll covers you or sends you stuff or gets you in these stings or anything like that. But what I will say is that, like, overall in general, the people who do predator stings, like Pred Poachers Illinois, the police groups that do them, the Facebook groups that do them, the vast majority of these people do have good intentions, and they're not doing this for clout. Yes, they profit off of it in a lot of cases if they have a successful channel, but they didn't always. Usually you have to do these things for quite a while completely for free and spending your own money, time, and resources on it to ever begin to profit on it in the first place. And then a lot of these people then go on to use the profits from it to get better equipment and to hire more people so that they can effectively do more of these things. So I do feel like the vast majority of people who are involved in these sting things are doing it because they actually have a genuine interest in protecting kids from predators like you. They actually care about getting people off the street, or at the very least exposing people for who they are and the type of things that they're trying to do to make sure that people are aware of it so they can keep their kids away from you. So yeah, I'm sure there's a handful of grifters out there who do this stuff just because they think it's funny to watch you have a meltdown, or because they can eventually profit off of it in some way. But at the same time, I really do feel like the vast majority of the time, the point of a sting above all else is, as the father of all stings, Chris Hansen, once said, to catch a predator.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why go after somebody that's not bothering you? That's what I don't get.
It doesn't make us mad that you're bothering us, Chance. It makes us mad that you're bothering kids.
Literally not out here bothering anybody, dude. Like, I'm really not. But, like, for real though, man. Like, I am genuinely sick and tired of being hated on. Like, I'm genuinely sick of it. You know, I will say this. Maybe if y'all actually sat down and actually got to know me as a person, y'all would see that I'm actually not a bad guy, man.
So I'm going to say right now, coming into this, like when I first made this channel, I knew very little about Cyrax. I knew like what was covered in the most recent Kiwi tapes and Smokey videos, and maybe I knew a little bit more than that because I watched some Swampy D. I watched a little bit of Swamp Dweller Live, shout out to the Bedbug Jug. But like I probably knew about something like the last year, maybe year and a half of content. And since making this channel, I've gone back and watched, to my own dismay, probably hundreds of hours worth of Cyrax footage, old archive streams, rants going all the way back to 2020, police body cam footage from 1,000 different wellness checks, and the one thing that I can guarantee is that spending more time watching Cyraxx behave will never make you like him more. Whether you're watching his music, whether you're watching his meltdowns, whether you're watching him interact with his elderly grandparents, whether you're watching him fool around in the junkyard with Security Jake, there is no amount of time that you could spend watching Cyraxx talk or watching him act or watching him do anything that he does that's going to make you like him more. All you will ever do is find new nuggets of information that give you additional reasons not to like him. Like, no matter how much you don't like him, you'll just be watching an old Marty stream and you're just like, oh, he just used the K slur. Okay, that's something else not to like. Or, oh, he faked having cancer. That's really disgusting. I hate that. Like, you're only ever going to find more things to dislike about him. You're never going to have a moment where you see him in a clip you've never seen before and you're like, oh, you know what? I've been wrong about this guy all along. It will only bolster the opinion you already have.
Like, if y'all actually took the time to get to know me as a human being and as an actual person, y'all might actually see that I'm actually not a bad dude. But so many of y'all are so caught up in your own ways, and you're filled with such rage and hatred that it doesn't make any sense to me. And y'all wonder why I left YouTube. I will say this.
Well, before you do, I'll say this, Cyraxx. You didn't leave YouTube. You were banned, and then you were banned again and again for ban evasion, and now you're never allowed on the platform again. So let's not do that thing that people do where they get dumped and then they said it was mutual, or I broke up with them, or I thought they were ugly in the first place. We all know what happened, Cyraxx. You got dumped and now you're trying to cope.
That yes, King Cobra may not have been a fan of me in public. That may be true. But the reason why he wasn't a fan is because y'all pushed that narrative onto him.
So see how even just like 2 days after he grifts off of Cobra's passing, he's already changing his story. Hours after Cobra passed away, Chance did a stream saying that they were secretly best friends behind the scenes, and that they were actually working on music projects with each other and they really liked each other. And now, because he's been getting nothing but non-stop, totally deserved hate for it, because that's a disgusting thing to do as soon as somebody passes away, especially when it's a fly, he's changing his story and saying, no, actually, Cobra didn't like me, but it was only because you trolls convinced him to not like me. So, like, this is always what he does with his lies. He tells a really outrageous one, and then when he's called out for it right away, he slowly erodes that lie down until it's a little bit closer to the truth, thinking that he can somehow, like, backpedal into a lie that's reasonable enough for people to believe, and it's just not going to work. And I'm not going to even say my whole opinions on him grifting off of Cobra on this video, because it'll end up making it 3 hours long because it pisses me off so bad. But if you guys are interested, I'll link it below. There's about an hour-long stream that I left up that I did directly after Cyraxx's Cobra memorial stream dropped, responding to it, where at one point we had damn near 1,000 people in chat saying nothing but how disgusting it was for Cyraxx to do this, pouring out all their love for Cobra and pouring out all their hate for him. So I'll drop that below in case you guys are interested in what I had to say about it and seeing the broader community's reaction to it. But I don't want to spend this whole video going off about it again, and honestly, I don't want to get myself worked up to that point again, because at least in recent memory, it's the maddest that something online has actually been able to make me. So I'm just going to jump past all of that. I'll link the stream, and all I'll say in this video is, RIP Cobra, hashtag wrong cow died.
Behind the scenes, me and him and old 45, my little brother Ethan, we all kicked it all the time, man. All three of us used to hang out. We all used to hang out on FaceTime. Me and Cobra were actually cool with each other behind the scenes.
No, you didn't. No, you weren't. He literally made a diss track against you that's over 5 minutes long called Fuck Cyraxx, where he says things along the lines of fuck Chance, fuck predators, fuck creeps, all of which absolutely applies.
Hell, even my little brother, old 45, can actually confirm that, without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, me and Cobes were actually tight, and when I heard he died, I almost lost it. And it kills me to say that, but the fact that he's dead really hurts a lot.
It doesn't hurt you, Chance, because you didn't know him and you didn't care about him. Honestly, I think you're giddy about it because it gives you something relevant to your own sphere of the community to try to blow up into attention and to try to convert into sympathy for yourself. I really don't think that he has any sympathy. I don't think that he cares that Clint made that really heartfelt video that almost brought me, and from the comments that I've been seeing, many, many other people in the community to tears. I don't think he cares about any of that. I think whenever an event happens, whether it's on the local Akron news, whether it's a fire truck going by outside, or whether it's somebody who's in his 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon of the internet, passing away or getting sick or something, I think the only thing that crosses his mind is that this is a potential content farm for him. And he can hop on stream before he's even got the ads played and the computer set up and immediately start talking about it as if his opinion means absolutely anything at all.
It hurt me, it hurt my best friend Ethan, because him and Ethan were just as close as me and Ethan are. And I've known Ethan for 12 years, going on 13 at the end of this year. But I just wanted to make this public video on here to say that I'm tired of the hatred. It's 2025. Y'all been doing this since 2017. It's time to grow up and move on.
Well, Chance, once again, yeah, you're right. It has been going on since 2017. It is 2025. We're pushing 9 years doing this now. But it's not any of us that need to quit. It's you. You're the one who has been repeating the same behavior like Groundhog Day every single day for almost 9 years. It's been so long that the 7 years, Marty, is becoming vastly outdated at this point. You're the one who needs to grow up. You're the one who needs to quit.
Bother my friends, bother my family, and do all this ignorant, stupid shit. It's pointless. You guys are never gonna get me arrested. I'm never gonna go away. I'm always going to be here. And there ain't a damn thing that you guys can do to stop me from ignoring you.
He's telling us that we can't stop him from ignoring us as he makes another 30-minute long stream directly responding to everything that people have been doing to him and doing nothing but talking about the trolls again. That really seems like ignoring us, Chance.
Now, with that being said, I will say this. I do hope that you trolls move on someday. Find it in your hearts to forgive yourselves for what you've done. Because you guys have done a lot to people like myself, King Cobra, and many other people. And it's not right.
See how he lumps himself in with Cobra again? Chance, the trolling of you is not at all the same as the trolling of Cobra. I'm not saying nobody ever crossed a line with Cobra, but the trolling of him was mostly good-natured. People would send him a sandwich from Subway that had every sauce on it and no meat, and he would laugh about it and eat it and say he got a free dinner. People brick your Xbox and do everything they can to make you miserable. Those are not the same thing at all.
And to King Cobra's family, I do say this. I'm sorry for your loss. I am genuinely sorry for your loss. King Cobra didn't deserve to die. Josh didn't deserve that. Josh was a good dude. If anything, he was one of the nicest human beings on 2 feet that I've ever met.
Well, you did never meet him, Chance, and he was a good dude. And we know that because, like most good dudes, he hated you and predators.
He really was. Yeah, in the public eye, he may have made it look like he hated me. But behind the scenes, me and him and Ethan used to hang out all the time. And I can honestly say that I'm going to miss mine and Josh's conversations.
You never had conversations, and this revisionist history where Cobra was a secret Cyrax supporter behind the scenes is really pissing me off.
All the funny shit we did, all the shenanigans we pulled on each other. I'm going to miss it, man. I'm really going to miss it. And to Josh's family, if it really was Josh's ex, I do hope that she gets the justice that she is owed.
So for anybody who's not aware of what he just referenced there is a rumor going around online that Josh's ex Jessica, also known as NAL, did something that caused what happened to Josh to happen, because before it happened, she had sent him a care package because he'd been sick on stream pretty recently. She sent him some chips and some single shots and a cigar and stuff like that. Just some food and some snacks and stuff like that. And while I understand why people would want to jump to the conclusion that there was some foul play or she did something wrong to him, because she's very easy to dislike, and I do dislike her, and she is very clearly a lunatic with mental health issues, and just kind of a very dislikable woman to begin with. There's not actually any evidence of that, and I get why people are talking about it. It's like an interesting storyline to kind of speculate about. Like, it would be pretty crazy if she did something like that, and people already don't like her, but I feel like without any evidence of that whatsoever, especially knowing what Josh's very unhealthy lifestyle was, I don't think there's any reason we should be immediately jumping to that conclusion. And until I see literally any kind of evidence, even circumstantial evidence to point in that direction, I just don't think it's a good idea probably to feed into that. But I did feel like I should at least acknowledge it just because Chance brought it up, so any of you guys who weren't aware would know what he was talking about.
I hope that she gets brought in and gets served with what she deserves. Because Cobes was a good dude. He didn't deserve what happened to him. Nobody deserves that. And I can also say this, there's too much hatred in this world and not enough kindness. And all y'all that are in that group, all I have to ask is this. What made you guys want to become trolls? Like, what made you guys decide that you wanted to be evil for a living?
Well, I'll ask you this, Chance. What made you decide multiple times after people told you that they were not of age to send them pictures of your little goblin? What made you decide to use the hard R on stream hundreds of times over the years and every other slur for every other racial group, minority, gay people, religious groups that you can possibly think of? What made you decide to strangle your grandma? What made you decide to do something that resulted in you not being allowed alone in a room with the dog? What made you decide to tell dozens of vicious lies to try to smear people's reputations over the years? What made you decide to ask Marty for his recently deceased ex's illicit photographs? What made you decide to blindside Blind Billy? You see what I'm getting at here, Chance? The problem is not us. The problem is you. The problem has always been you, and the problem will continue to be you until you leave the internet and stop doing literally everything that you do. That's going to be our coverage for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another Goblin Watch. And until next time, you guys know how it goes. Stay indoors, stay away from the goblin, and have a good one.